It is an extraordinary pleasure to be able to introduce distinguished alumnus, Mr. Michael Acheson, class of 1980. A graduate from the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University, Mr. Acheson is a successful businessman and entrepreneur, having managed his family's global business early on, starting the venture capital firm Blue Water Capital, and also up the private investment firm Interlochen Capital. He's also served on the boards of the Gleaners Food Bank, Wayne State University College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Detroit Public Television, City Year Detroit, and was board chair at both Gleaners and Wayne State. Despite his extraordinary success, Mr. Acheson has always made time for Cranbrook. Joining the CK Alumni Association board in the mid-90s, he would later join the Board of Governors, the Board of Trustees, and the Board for the Institute of Science. He was instrumental in creating Bravo and donated funds and hours of expertise in helping Cranbrook launch its first website. His family has also contributed to strategic efforts including the Light Lab at the Woodward entrance, major upgrades to the Science Institute Planetarium, and scholarships for Cranbrook students. As a student at Cranbrook, Mike was a three-sport varsity athlete in soccer, hockey, and track, and was a member of Cranbrook's first state championship hockey team in 1979. He played the saxophone and went to England with the jazz band and ended up meeting Roger Daltrey at his home after a concert. Mike fondly remembers roaming the halls as middle school students, rubbing shoulders with the high school kids who attended classes in the same buildings back then. He remembers the thrill of pelting bigger, older students with snowballs because, as he said, they could only catch one of us. To Mike, Cranbrook is a community and a professional opportunity as well. He has made major investments with a number of people he has met through Cranbrook, some of them not much older than today's graduates. Mr. Acheson's connection to Cranbrook is strong and multifaceted, and its spirit lives in him still and his entire family. We are very proud to have him here today. Please give a warm welcome from your seats at home to today's commencement speaker, Cranbrook class of 1980, Mr. Michael Acheson.
Thank you, Jacob, for that great introduction. And greetings, Cranbrook class of 2020. It's a huge honor for me to be here with you today at what is certainly Cranbrook's first, and I hope its only, virtual graduation. Some of you may have been watching John Krasinski's Some Good News on YouTube recently. Well, you're graduating from Cranbrook today is not only good news, it's great news for you, for your parents, and depending on how far you want to go with it, it's great for the world too. As you're watching me today due to the state lockdown, you've missed out on the ceremony at Christ Church, and you've probably missed some of the best parties of your life. But you leave Cranbrook today with the freshest eyes, ears, and minds in the state of Michigan, and absolutely endless potential. You have been prepared for what you choose to do next in a manner few have the privilege to receive. In a normal year, it would be customary for your commencement speaker to have spent some time with many of you, getting to know you and understanding the collective personality of the senior class. Naturally, this was not possible this year, and that is certainly my loss. What I do know about you is that all of you have made the wait and gone the distance at Cranbrook. You have worked incredibly hard and have distinguished yourselves in countless ways. I've seen the senior class awards, and I'm blown away by the talent and strength in this class. Now, this is where I'd like to tell you that I was an exceptional student here at Cranbrook. But there are still people around from my day, like Charlie Shaw. They know the facts, so I must confess, I didn't win any awards around commencement. However, Cranbrook prepared me for success I had not imagined, and the path I chose following graduation has included a lifetime of service back to this institution I love so much, and the opportunity to do so has been its own reward. You are graduating in unprecedented times, and I commend you all for getting through this. You have charted new paths, most times on the fly, with the help of your courageous parents, who adapted with you to the challenges and opportunities of online learning, and of course the amazing faculty and staff at Cranbrook who continue to provide the support needed to get you across the finish line. Please, thank them regularly for being part of your team. As I reflect back on my high school days, my memories linger on the awesome faculty and the relationships I had with them, and of course the friends I made, many of whom are still my best friends today. Staying at home and being isolated from your friends and teachers really stinks. Missing prom and baccalaureate and the other year-end activities of your senior year is something you can't get back. But I want to assure you that while many of you may be anxious about how your senior year has ended, these few months punctuate but will not define your Cranbrook experience. On the contrary, it'll be one of the many stories you will tell about your time here, and it's a good one. Mostly you will remember the games you attended, the teams you played on, the classes you loved, and the classes you hated, and the parties you attended. You can fill in the blank on what you remember most, but will most certainly include the friendships you developed and the many personal achievements for which you worked so hard. Your next 4 years will be all about college. You will dive into school spirit at your university just like you've done at Cranbrook. And for a while, you won't think of Cranbrook as a place very often. Never fear. Once you finish your education and start your working life and your families, Cranbrook will rise and steal back into your life. It usually starts when you return to your 5-year class reunion. Please make an effort to stay involved with your class. Share in each other's achievements. It's really worth it. Going forward, you will choose different academic paths. The humanities, the sciences, the arts, education, or perhaps commerce. I'd like to give you a retrospective tip on what has helped me in my life. When you are many decades removed from Cranbrook and you look back on what have been the drivers of your success, one of the things will certainly be the relationships you have forged in your life. Those personal relationships and networks will be very important to your growth both professionally and socially, and for charitable associations and involvement. I chose business as my path, and I spend my professional life investing in early-stage companies. And I'm proud to say that many of my investments have been made to support the founding of companies by Cranbrook graduates. In all cases, students reached out to me while they were either still at Cranbrook or in college, and they started to build a relationship with me. I provided advice and guidance, made introductions for them, and ended up helping them get their companies started. I can tell you that these alums are all on their way to being successful in whatever they do. And one of the reasons is they made the decision early on to start building their relationships. When they graduated from college, they hit the ground running because they already knew many people in the business and professional community and in other areas. I urge you to make an effort to do this too. If you want to be really good at it, have some personal business cards printed up, even if you're in liberal arts, and keep some with you at all times. When you meet someone interesting, exchange information with them and follow up to learn more about what they do and how they can possibly help you with your career growth. If you ask people in the workforce for advice and assistance with your networking, most people are more than happy to help, especially if you have some connection to them like Cranbrook. There are thousands of Cranbrook alums today, and every one of them has a common bond. They went to Cranbrook. No matter whether you want to go into business, medicine, go to work in Hollywood, or work on the space station, there's an alum out there who can guide you and help build your network. If you spend some time thinking about how you can develop this skill, it will help you immensely in your life. If you're a bit reluctant to reach out to total strangers, start by reaching out to me. I will try to get you started with some pointers and show you how easy it really is. Giving back is another subject I want to share. Now, some of you may have already spent many hours doing volunteer work in your spare time. I've done a lot of this in my life, and I can say it has been personally very fulfilling. I love the energy in volunteer groups, and there's an enormous feeling of satisfaction for getting involved for the common good. You can use your existing relationships and networks to help find volunteer opportunities, and once you get involved, you will discover all sorts of cool people doing the same thing, which in turn will help you build your network. Life has its magic, and the lightning of good fortune may strike you often. But while you're waiting, I'd like to share my favorite quote from a former U.S. president. Not JFK or Barack Obama, but Calvin Coolidge. This quote explores another extremely important quality: persistence. And it goes like this: nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Your persistence has brought you here today. In closing, I think you know how much your parents wish for your success. I most sincerely want you also to know how important your success is to everyone here at Cranbrook and to me. We wish only the best for you. Now, all of you, do your absolute best to enjoy this summer, and don't forget to come back to reunions here in June. Each year, more than 1,000 alums gather from all graduating classes to share their stories with the countless other alums. It's a hell of a lot of fun. This is not something you're going to want to miss. Congratulations again to the class of 2020 on this huge milestone in your life. You are individual, you are special, and don't you forget it. Now get out there and give them hell. Now, one quick shout out to my hockey teammates.